So today we have some good news for millions and millions of Americans, and no, has nothing to do with my eye. Now, I want to address what's going on. I was going to take a few days off to let my eye heal. However, I thought, you know what? I need to come on. I need to talk about what's going on because millions of people are about to see the effects of what the Trump administration is doing. And I want to break this down, show you what's happening, but you can also listen to President Trump himself when he talked just the other day. So we're going to do that in just a moment. Again, has nothing to do with my eye. I'm here. I'm going to be okay, but do have a little bit of an eye abrasion that got to get through. So for the next few days, chances are I'll be wearing this. But let's get to the update for today. But first, before I do, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So first off, what is the good news for millions and millions of Americans? Well, it's simple. It has to do with tariffs. And I want to play a few clips just from the past 24 hours of what is going on and what President Donald Trump says is going to happen. Just listen to this.
Steve, the White House was asked yesterday whether or not the president's engaged in a one-on-one talk with President Xi of China, and the White House not willing to go on the record with that, an indication that these conversations are still not happening at the most senior levels. Either way, all three major U.S. stock indexes are set to open sharply higher today, given some of the news the president and Treasury Secretary made within the last 24 hours, suggesting that the trade war won't last forever. As you all three know, there's been a major sell-off on Wall Street ever since the trade war began.
Yeah. First thing is the Treasury Secretary said just the other day, I came on here, tried to fight through it, tried to talk and do a video even though my eye was killing me. But what the Treasury Secretary said yesterday is that this is something that's not going to go on forever. This is something that they are going to get to the bottom of this. They believe, and by they, the Trump administration believes, that we're going to have an answer sometime by the summer. So we have a couple of months. But let's listen to what Donald Trump had to say just this morning, actually yesterday morning. Again, listen to this.
145% is very high, and it won't be that high. It'll come down substantially, but it won't be zero. It used to be zero. We were just destroyed. China was taking us for a ride, and just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're going to be very good to China, and I think they're going to be happy, and I think we're going to live together very happily and ideally work together. So I think it's going to work out very well, and I think we'll make a deal with China.
Including with...
If we don't make a deal, we'll set it. We'll just set the number, and, I think they'll want to be a part of the United States.
Right there. He says that the tariffs on China are going to lower substantially. They're not going to be zero, but they're going to lower substantially. They won't be 125%. The United States will not have a tariff or a duty to China of 125%. So again, it's going to be some big changes. And I've said this before, and I was very clear that what we've seen in the past is President Trump normally proposes this. He says, we're going to do this, and then he tries to find something in the middle. That's essentially what we're going to get. He's saying, we're going to hit you with 245% tariffs. No, we're going to hit you with 145% tariffs currently. And in the future, maybe it goes up. But in the end, it's going to be something much less. And keep in mind, when President Trump first did this, okay, what was it, a 34% tariff? Well, wasn't that what it was? It was a 34% tariff on China. And China said, you know what? We're going to hit you with our own tariff. We're going to hit you with these duties, these fees. And President Trump said, okay, you can do that. We're going to raise it. Okay, we're going to raise it. China raised theirs. We're going to raise ours. We're going to keep doing it. And that's where this trade war all started. Now, according to reports, President Trump is open to lowering the tariff on China, going substantially lower. Chances are that 34% that was initially imposed on China, that 34% was the starting. That's what Trump wanted to start at. He didn't want to go up. He wanted to go down. Okay? But he wanted to hit China with that initially. China was probably going to, fight back, say, no, we can't do it. We're going to hit you with this. But then President Trump, according to reports, was willing to come down. Based off what we're hearing, it's probably going to be about 20%. Okay? About 20% is likely what we're going to settle on. I want to play another clip for you. Listen to this right here.
$5 billion a day. And now we have it down to a very low number because we're getting 25% from the automobile industry, from autos. We're getting 25% for steel, 25% for aluminum, and we're getting the baseline of 10%. And think of it, we're losing almost $2 trillion on trade. And those days are gone. We're not going to do that again. We're not going to let that happen. We're being ripped off by almost, I don't say every, but very close to every country, everywhere in the world, just being ripped off left and right. You had no leadership. You had people that didn't know what they were doing. And we're going to turn the country around. You know, we have a very nice phrase, make America great again. That's what we're going to do. And
okay. So he said we had about a $2 trillion trade deficit, right? And we're not going to be ripped off anymore. You know, we didn't have the leadership before. We do now. This is what he says is going to happen. Now, I'm not here to tell you that this is going to happen overnight, that by this Friday we're going to be out of this tariff issue, this crisis. But what I can tell you is that things are going to be better. Okay? Now, the one thing I want you to leave here with is this one thing. What we are now hearing is that tariffs aren't going to keep going up. Tariffs are likely going to come down. Okay? Specifically from China. So if you're buying anything, any Chinese goods, electronics, right? If you're buying anything like that, there's a very high likelihood prices are going to become cheaper in the near future. Listening to, and I know probably most people aren't going to listen to this, but I listened to the earnings report, okay, from Tesla yesterday. And I listened to Elon Musk. Elon Musk has a kind of a role with the Department of Government Efficiency. And Elon Musk said probably by the end of this month, he is going to step back. So as of May, he's only going to be in the Department of Government Efficiency probably 1 to 2 days per week. He's going to run Tesla, okay, his main company. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because also in the report, he was talking about things are going to change likely in the next month or two. That wasn't one of the changes. One of the big changes, and I believe this is coming because of the rare earth minerals that we need from, or Tesla needs from China. Because currently the United States produces, I believe, like 5% of all rare earth minerals. Okay? But China produces like 85%. With these tariffs, Tesla is paying a lot more for these minerals, that if we see the tariffs come down, it's going to be very good for Tesla. So what Elon Musk was saying, and again, Elon Musk is President Trump's right-hand man. So with Elon Musk coming out saying that things are going to get better in the next month or two, that's where I feel he is referring to, is tariffs are going to come down substantially. Okay? So again, that's where we're at this time. I know a lot of people are questioning whether or not these tariffs are going to work. These tariffs will work, but they're not going to work if the United States comes out and hits a country with a 145% tariff immediately. We can work our way up to it, but it's going to take years. We can't just come out of the gate and say, you know what, 145%. That's just too much. Most people are not going to pay those prices. So we'll see. But the good news out today is that, yes, President Trump feels the talks are going good so far with China. According to reports just the other day, there's still, the negotiations haven't really started, but the talks are there. According to the reports, the negotiations, this is something, especially with trade, this is something that the language has to be correct. And it's likely going to take several months. Okay? This is why, and I believe after listening to Elon Musk just the other day, this could be good news with exactly what he said. It kind of all falls in line with what everybody's talking about. Right about that summer start date. That's when everything's going to hit. So we'll see what happens, but according to reports, this is good news for millions and millions of Americans. So as we get more updates, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.